Hey everybody, it's your friend and your guy and your favorite contrarian, Gardiner. Today, I wanted to talk about Spotify and the moves that Spotify has made in the podcast game and why I think Spotify needs to stay the hell out of the podcast game. Look, I know that there's a lot of people who have a lot of love for Spotify, right? Yeah, you pay $10 a month or whatever to get unlimited music. But that unlimited music really does have a cost associated with it. Personally, I hate Spotify. I think that Spotify is the Facebook of the music industry, which are two things that are really bad on their own, but when combined are catastrophically evil. Facebook is a truly wicked company that actively and successfully uses the data it mines and collects from its users to undermine the fabric of society. It also buys and ruins many technologies in order to monopolize them and lock out competition. The music industry is similar. It's a greed and power-driven industry. It relies on deception and excess and has actively and knowingly harmed freedom of expression by lobbying to corrupt the idea of intellectual property. So when I say that Spotify is the Facebook of the music industry, know that there are a few things in my mind that a company could be that are worse than being the Facebook of the music industry. Maybe being the Comcast of the video game industry might be slightly worse. I don't know. Now, I'm not going to do a deep dive into the extreme corruption and the perverse motivations of Spotify, right? There are many better video essayists on YouTube who have already done exactly that. You'll find a link below to one of my favorites, Barely Sociable. Great content. But all you need to know for the purposes of this video is that it's alleged, okay, it's alleged that Spotify engages in some really shady, fraudulent business practices. Also, being part of the music industry means that it has actively contributed to the special brand of corruption that the music industry is widely known for. And it weaponizes shady data analysis in order to rip off independent musicians for the benefit of itself in the process, right? All of these roughly coincide with the reasons that Facebook and the music industry are evil. And that's why I will never have a Spotify premium account. I never have and I never will. And why I don't use the free version of Spotify either. Now, in the last few years, podcasting has become really big business. Podcasts are fun. They're sometimes informative, and they're a good way to fill the silence on a long drive or maybe when you're cleaning the kitchen or something. And there are really big podcasts out there as well, like with drawing in massive audiences. But few approached the scale of the Joe Rogan Experience. The Joe Rogan Experience is a huge podcast. It is one of the largest out there. And last year, Spotify penned a deal with Joe Rogan that his show would go exclusive on Spotify for $100 million. And while personally I think that you could generously describe the Joe Rogan Experience as kiddie pool intellectualism, it has nonetheless proved massively popular and hugely successful. So what does this all mean? I mean, why do I care about an exclusivity deal between a platform that I hate and a show that I don't care about? It's because podcasting truly is the last bastion of independent, open, and federated media on the web. If you listen to podcasts, you'll know this innately, just because you can download pretty much any podcasting app and listen to pretty much any podcast that you want without any fuss. And that's because most of these shows host their own content. If you have a platform like YouTube, creators upload their video to YouTube and YouTube holds on to that content. And when you want to go watch a video on YouTube, you're connecting to YouTube's server. In the podcasting world, it works differently. Every show has their own server. There are a few exceptions to this, but most shows have their own server where you download from their website, basically. And then these shows provide a feed of available episodes. And then there are a number of apps and services and platforms that will aggregate these feeds and present you, the end user, with a list of shows that are available. And if the shows aren't available, you can generally go get the feed yourself and add it to your favorite podcasting app. But with Spotify making aggressive moves in the podcast industry, and the latest of which is their launching of premium, paid podcast subscriptions aimed at undercutting Apple's 30% premium podcast fees, there is real potential here for the open and independent nature of podcasting to become a thing of the past. With that being the case, I think it's worth looking at how the Joe Rogan Experience has suffered from its exclusivity deal with Spotify. First, let's talk about Joe Rogan himself. Now, he was insistent that joining the Spotify family would not compromise the integrity of his show. Integrity, I'm using that term lightly. He said he was insistent that Spotify wouldn't censor any of his podcasts. And then Spotify just removed a bunch of the more unsavory episodes from his back catalog. And one has to imagine that Rogan, being a libertarian, would not be that okay with that. Now, remember that his show is one of the most successful podcasts in the history of podcasts. It was independent. He had full editorial control over the content. He could have whatever guest he wanted, and they could say whatever they wanted. And he gave up all of that in his deal with Spotify. We're also almost a year out from the reveal of this deal being penned. How has the show fared since it went fully exclusive on Spotify? Well, anecdotally, it used to be that the Joe Rogan clips littered my YouTube recommended feed. Every single day, I would see at least 2 or 3 Joe Rogan clips recommended to me. It has been months since I've seen a single Joe Rogan clip recommended to me on YouTube. Similarly, a report from Tech Talk has shown that search traffic for Joe Rogan has actually dropped by 40% from the same time last year. That is striking to me. So Spotify paid $100 million to compromise whatever editorial integrity Joe Rogan had over his show and has harmed the relevancy of the show. And that hits on the other thing that I mentioned about Facebook at the beginning of this video. Facebook buys and ruins technology. Instagram, WhatsApp, Oculus, right? All of these are Facebook acquisitions that have become corrupted perversions of their former selves. Spotify, it seems, buys and ruins content, its flagship show being Exhibit A. So when I say that Spotify is the Facebook of the music industry, now you know why. That's going to do it for this video. I'd love to know what you guys think about this. Let me know it in the comments down below. I want to say thank you to all the amazing people over here who support the show on Patreon and through YouTube memberships. You guys make this show possible. Thank you. If you like these videos and you believe in the work that I'm doing, the best way to help the show out is to become a YouTube member or to become a patron. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do this. That's going to do it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you subscribe and hit that like button and maybe share this video if you enjoyed it that much. But I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.